So, back with another video to continue the whole things I'm hoping will stay in 2013. So, another thing that I am hoping will stay in 2013 are TERFs. TERF stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist. TERFs are a particular set of radical feminists who don't accept trans women as women, and not only bully trans women online and seek to exclude them from women's spaces and pretty much everywhere, but they also seek to disenfranchise trans women from receiving the same rights and privileges under the law as their hetero and LGBTQ counterparts. TERFs claim to care about protecting women, and they claim to fight patriarchy, or, against patriarchal culture, which oppresses women based on biological sex and gender, yet they oppress trans women based on biological sex and their own antiquated perspectives on gender. TERFs are hypocrites of the highest order, and they are no different from the patriarchal people they supposedly fight against. They're scum of the fucking earth, going so far as to doxing the names and addresses of trans women and outing trans kids to their schools, like Kathy Brennan, a well-known political lesbian, lawyer, and head of the TERF organization Gender Identity Watch. Brennan claimed that a 17-year-old teenage trans woman was harassing people online, and thusly she saw fit to out the teenage girl to her school by emailing them. And you want to know what counts as harassing women online for Brennan and for other TERFs? Nothing really, just speaking up against their bigotry. That's it. And for that, trans women are labeled as, being violent. And TERFs pretty much make it their business to expose trans women and trans children to potential scorn and harm by doxing them. But since they don't see trans women as women, they see them as men, they don't care about the potential harm they'll enable. In fact, some TERFs actually wish for it, as we will see from a few quotes that I'll read thanks to Sophia Photos. So, let's see. One TERF says, they expect we'll be shocked to see statistics about them being killed, and don't realize some of us wish they would all be dead. Let's see. Oh, another TERF says, scams, surgically and chemically altered males, are nothing more than MRAs, men's rights activists, in dresses. And then another TERF says that transgendered women are male supremacists who want to skin real women to wear as their womanly guise. They would be a boring joke except for the many women who support them. It's all about saying no to men who won't take no for an answer, except this group of female haters have female guardians. It's just, it would be funny if it wasn't so sad and potentially dangerous to just read things like this. And I've had numerous interactions with TERFs on Twitter, and let me tell you, it's they spew some really hateful and vitriolic shit. So and apparently if you support them, if you're one of these female guardians, because oh, you have a penis, so ew, so if you're one of the female guardians, which I guess I would count as one, you don't like lesbians and you want to force lesbians to have sex with trans women. So, I mean, I don't know how I could force anyone to have sex with me, let alone have sex with trans women. But whatever. It really doesn't make any sense. But what I do know, what does make sense to me, is that TERFs are not people who are interested in protecting women or looking for equality for anyone who isn't like them or doesn't fit their definition of what a woman is. They're more than willing participants in the oppression of trans women. Like I mentioned earlier, not only via harassing them online and doxing their information, but they're also willing to lobby to governments to deny trans women access to simple things like health care, access to the restroom, and protection against discrimination under the law in the states where I reside and pretty much around the world, and to establish these reparative therapy programs for trans folk. Their stances on women and gender are really no different than like far-right, right-wing nut jobs and MRAs, which, considering that some TERFs view trans women as MRAs, the irony of this shit is just overwhelming. TERFs are a hate group, and sadly, just like the Tea Party, they've gotten their base together to rally for legislation that denies a group of people rights that they themselves expect to have. TERFs are bigots, and they need to be held accountable for not just their hateful rhetoric, but most importantly, in my opinion, for the work that they do to oppress trans women. And it's even more disgusting and shameful that they're more than willing to work with right-wingers and ex-gay groups who, in any other situation, they would be enemies with, to do it. TERFs are not a benevolent group. They're liars who hide their hateful banter as them just critiquing gender. They're hypocrites, and again, I can't say it anymore how much of bigots they are. They're bigots, and they just need to be held accountable for their shit. Full stop. That's the bottom line. I'm going to leave links to everything that I've referenced in the low bar. I'm also going to leave links if you want more information, if you want to follow some really kick-ass trans folk that I know. I will leave links to Twitter handles of people that I follow. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. TERFs need to stay in 2013, and fuck them.